Wonderful. So I'll start this session by inviting our first speaker, Claire Lyle from the Global Venture Talent Geek. A big round of applause. She's coming all the way from France. Welcome, Claire.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
So I was assigned to this plenary about innovation and technology, but I'm here to tell you a story about chickens. Some of you may have heard it before. It was a US university experiment, and they wanted to learn about superstars. Chickens' productivity is pretty easy to measure. You just count the eggs. The scientists running the experiment wanted to find out what made chickens more productive. So he designed a really beautiful experiment. Chickens live in groups. And so first of all, he selected just an average group of chickens, and he left them alone for 6 generations. He also created a second group of the individually most productive chickens. You could call them super chickens. And he put them together in a super flock. And each generation, he selected only the most productive ones for breeding. After 6 generations, what do you think he found? Well, the first group, the average group, they were doing just fine. They were all plump, they were fully feathered, and they were producing many more eggs than at the beginning. The second group, however, the super chickens, well, all but 3 of them were dead. They pecked each other to death. So the individually productive chickens had only achieved their success through pushing and shoving the other ones and killing them. So what kind of children are we raising? Society seems, whether in India or Kenya or Italy, to be traditionally telling us that we should be raising super chickens, urging them to be doctors, lawyers, CEOs, investment bankers. But I think society has got it wrong. I believe we're encouraging the wrong kind of aspirations and are educating our young ones in a way that forgets the most basic human qualities. We're pushing them to get 100% scores in exams. But when they graduate from IIT or Peking University or Cambridge or Harvard, few of them have actually volunteered or truly traveled or helped the lady down the street to go for a walk because she doesn't manage it on her own anymore. They haven't learned another language or got a paper round or traveled in a proper way with a backpack. They've just pushed and shoved to get those 100% scores, and they've left a few dead chickens along the way. Companies and organizations, including McKinsey, the UN, and Goldman Sachs, are for sure looking for those 100% scores, but they want those scores to come with communication and empathy skills too. And you don't find those skills accidentally along the way. You find them by doing all the things that you don't easily find time to do when you're studying from dawn to midnight. How can we fix this? We have to find ways to encourage schools and society at large and organizations to shift the emphasis, to open their doors differently. And we must encourage our young ones, whether our own children or students or young professionals, to have the courage to take time to discover themselves, to define their likes and dislikes, and to forge a path towards a true mix of skills and passion in their lives. This is what I'm here to do. I hope you'll find time to speak with me to see how we can help each other to make this happen. And if you're in any doubt at all, just ask yourself, what kind of chickens am I raising? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. It's always nice to get that kind of information like we were discussing yesterday. Sometimes we don't know where our food comes from, you know, we just see it in packages and we don't get to learn about it. So this is fantastic. Thank you, Claire. Next we have Mr. Dilip Venkatraman. He is CEO of Videotape, and he's been part of our All Ladies League, helping out at this event as well. He's from India. Big round of applause for Mr. Venkatraman. Hello, sir.
Hi. Are you sure people can hear me?
Would you like this mic?
Then my hands will show it.
Yeah, just try it, otherwise I'll get the voice.
Hi. Can you guys hear me? Because it looks like we... No.
Can we do something about the sound in the front? Gentleman in the back over there?
Hi. Can you guys hear me? Is this better? That sounds better, right?
Yes.
Is this better? Yeah, see. Yeah. Okay, hi. First, good afternoon. I hope you're all feeling good after your lunches. and I hope to wake you up if possible. Just kidding. It's an absolute honor to be here to talk to you all, and it's great to see all of you here, and it's good for me to even speak to you guys. Okay. Now, in terms of what we do, you see, we are a next generation media company which is working on videos. Now, why videos? You see, video, it's kind of more or less a closed argument that is going to be the way media is going to get consumed in the near future, at least for the next decade or so. So if that's happening, we are working on how to make the video more engaging and how it can be used across various, aspects of life, including education, sports, so on and so forth. So we are building one of the first interactive smart video platforms. Now, what is this smart video? You see, you remember those small phones we had in our, earlier the phones, first they were like a brick and then they became small, used to make calls. These days, you use your phone also to make calls. Agreed? The same way, what we are working on is, a video is just for watching, right? But now if the video can engage with you, if it can interact, if it can do intelligent things for you.
First clinical research paper in autism with stem cell therapy. And after that, we have now achieved 69 publications in national and international peer-reviewed journals. We have written over 12 books. We believe that along with research, we have to empower our patients and their family. So we write guidebooks for them. And now, India is a leading country for stem cell. All the Western countries were a little lagging because of the embryonic stem cell banned by George Moore. So I'm very happy to see that India is leading, and we are one of the pioneering institutes for stem cell in neurological disorders. I would like to thank Dr. Rekha Bhalkani and Dr. Lal, who first laid the stepping stone for me to come back in the profession. There was a time when I was stable after the treatment and I wanted to work, but I had a fear in my mind. Oh, now I'm no more as healthy as before. How are my patients going to look at me? I will be a doctor, but will they accept me? That was a big fear. But these two doctors gave me the belief that I can do it. And when I started working in ICU with the help of the junior doctor, because I was the senior doctor over there, with supervision, when I saved a life, I thought, yes, I can do it, and I can make a difference in lots of lives. I realized that when a patient comes to a doctor, they are not looking at how you are looking, but at your knowledge, how you care for them by heart. So that now in our institute, Neurogen, we are more than 70% women employees. And that makes us special because women are always caring at heart in whatever role we are in. So our patients are very well cared for, and they feel that yes, we have the right people taking care of us. So I'm very proud to be a part of the institute. And my future aspiration is to eradicate neurological disorder through research. Like smallpox is now eradicated. There was a time when people were dying of it, but now we've forgotten. I want world to forget ALS. So one day I know it will happen, and I will work towards it till the goal is achieved. I would like to thank my family, my sister, and my whole neurosurgeon team who support me in my day-to-day work. Also, I have started Asha Ek Hope Foundation, the first organization, NGO, working for ALS patients in India. So through the foundation, we help the patient and the family to overcome this thing. I would like to end with a Michael Jackson song. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you give enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me.
How inspiring are you? You know, you have left us with no excuses. You have left the audience with no excuses to do what we want to do. You know, thank you for gracing us with your presence here. You know, it's very touching. It's pretty much you've really told life that, you know, I want to live you, so let me live you, right? So thank you for being here.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much. A big round of applause. Wow, I'm left speechless. I need a minute to recoup. Next, I will have Emanuela Donanti, co-founder of Urbano Creative SRL from India. From India? Okay, Italy. It says India for now.
But I love India. I can stay here if you want.
Wonderful.
So first of all, I have a big tradition. Can we take a selfie together?
Yes, with everybody.
With everybody. Please smile. Say cheese. Thank you. So, I am so glad to be here, and thank you to the prior speaker because of her powerful message. This is what I do. As always, when I'm here, I'm so glad to be here and so honored to be between these great sisters and so talented girls and women. And this year, I have also the chance to lead, as I can do it, a little group from Italy of sisters. Can you say hi to all? And listening in this just 2 days, this morning I was saying to myself, what can I say to all these talented girls? I'm so stupid. It's so difficult now. Yeah. You can face with men, perhaps, but not with Dr. Arbina Arora and her staff, for an example. So, what I can share is my very big passion for the world and at a smaller scale for the city. As a geographer, I like to see the nature, the landscapes, I like to see how you use our shared spaces, how we build it. I like to see how we fight the climate changes. Someone yesterday taught us something that's great. But the total crash for me happened when I met technology. I started from literature, then I went to technology, and when I met the smartphones, the tablets, all the stuff you can do with a website, I fall in love totally. And I merge geography with the technologies. And nowadays, after the smartphone, the very big revolution in our cities is the Internet of Everything, is the IoT. Everything will speak to everything, and we don't even know what it can do. In a far connected world, the benches, we talk to the city manager about your Sharpies. The weight of the sidewalks, we talk to the public transport management. Obviously, traffic lights, we talk to the municipalities about your speed. And you will get the fine at the end, probably. So that's the topic. Let's look at that fine. This IoT have to be there just to give us a fine? Is this the reason why we have technologies in our cities? Is that it? Is it nice? I don't like it at all. So, this is where I'm personally involved. And this is what I would like you all to think about next time you walk your child to school or take a walk for a shop and so on. Just take a look at your place, at your city, and think about, is this city connected to people? Is this place, is this sidewalk connected to me? To the people I know, to the people in my family, to my grandmother, to my mother? Is it? Or is it not? Is it city livable for special people, livable for persons with wheelchairs, or where people with wheelchairs can run up and down from sidewalks? Is it a place where elderly have to stay at home because their children are at work and they can't enjoy social life, normal social life? So, is it a comfortable city? Is it a place where you can walk your stroller with your child inside? Or where you're comfortable when you carry him on your back? Is it proper? Is it clean enough? Do you feel secure in your city? This is a big topic, and we all live there. And we built that city. It's our behavior that built the city. Public data, all those data coming from all these sensors, all these cameras, all these devices are connected to a major intelligence. And they can't be there just to give us a fine. I'm sorry. I want them to do more than that. I want you to think about it and tell us what you really need from your city. You give to the city something, and you want something back from your city, from the place you live in. So, the reality is that these devices are there to help us building a better place. Like she said before, we need that better place. We want that better place. Every one of us has, in some way, some special needs. And those needs, they have to be resolved from the city and give back to you. So, when you're in the city, just take a look, please. And send us your ideas. And send us your will, your desires, your dreams about it. The world is waiting for our new ideas. And perhaps together we can build a better place together. Thank you so much.
All the sisters from Italy. Well, thank you for creating that beautiful speech on creating a foundation for yourself, you know. Thank you so much for sharing your insights on that. A big round of applause for her. Thank you. And next we have Gamasharia Mutezo. She's Chief Operation Officer, SEA Africa. I can welcome her on stage.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let me try that again. Usually when I'm nervous, I try and get in touch with the people in here. Woohoo, good afternoon. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I traveled all the way from South Africa for a hearty hey, not for a silent Okay.
Let's give her a round of applause. I know it's been a big lunch. Thank you for being.
Awesome. So I'm quite delighted to be here just to share something really interesting, and it certainly resonates with our Italian Indian speaker, because I'm an urban planner and I absolutely love physical spaces. So when I travel to different cities, mostly in developing countries, I enjoy being on the ground. The idea of being chauffeured and taken to Lani places, yeah, it's all well and done, but just being on the ground is the best thing ever. So as an urban planner, I'm quite interested in environmental planning as well as renewable energies. The concept of innovation then comes into play, especially in developing regions. Rapid urbanization, urban sprawling, you name it, those keywords that are ringing the bell across many continents. But how is innovation actually coming into play as we try and mitigate the negative externalities of rapidly urbanizing cities? So city of Cape Town, Johannesburg, Nairobi in Kenya, Abuja in Nigeria, Dakar, Senegal, you name it. They're all starting to explore innovative ways of having more sustainable cities. So the first industrial revolution we had looked at water and steam so that we build the cities that we have. The second looked at electrical power so as to increase mass production. The third, electronics and IT. So automating certain processes, and still the cities continue to grow. Now we are facing a fourth industrial revolution, which is more for digital disruption. So across all the industries, all the sectors in the world, one or another, we're using digital to make our livelihood much better. So as indicated earlier, yes, one needs to develop software, source coding, programs, you name it, so as to make cities more efficient. However, where I'm coming from, there are leapfrogs taking place. So indeed, most of the population have managed to grasp wireless data thanks to the cell phone, computers, and so forth. But when it comes to the physical infrastructure, there's still a bit of work to be done. So something that I just want to leave with you as we continue to engage in other WEF platforms like this. Next time when we meet, it'll be really exciting to hear what some of the small, medium, and large entrepreneurs are doing in that space, because it presents a whole lot of opportunities. For example, the data collection aspect. So you find that some small and medium enterprises wanting to explore African markets don't have that data. They need to go to KPMG, Deloitte, and so forth. But it comes with a lot of zeros at the end, specifically in euros or dollars. I don't have all the zeros in euros and dollars. So a small enterprise can actually establish itself, in turn actually creating opportunities for cities to become more efficient and more resilient. So over the next 5 to 10 years, I think we'll have a different story to consider. But right here, right now, in the work that we do, in the different sectors that we do, we'll need to become constantly conscious of the way we are becoming innovative so as to address issues of rapid urbanization. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your insights with us. I definitely want to travel to Africa soon because the technology has made everything so much smaller for us. So one day I'll be there visiting you as well. And thank you for touching base on, you know, the small and medium businesses, because that's where we're really looking for that growth, you know. Taking those 1 or 2 zeros off is always helpful. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. And next we have Jeanette Falotico. She is the founding principal at Trinity Consulting Group, LLC. Is she here in the room? I had announced her name earlier. No, okay, she is not. Then I will go to Miss Maddie Sharma. She is social capitalist, Maddie Group, international business broker, educational entrepreneur, speaker from the UK. And she's been wanting this mic from me for a long time. I told her she couldn't just sit there.
Hi. I have a UK passport. I live and work in the European Union. But my heart and soul is Indian. I'm a proud Punjabi. It's the home of my father. What has India taught me?
No excuses for being too tall and not being able to do that, right?
India has taught me to look at things from a different perspective, to value people, to listen to people, to understand people. I'm asking you just for one thing. Please, put your hands out and pull another woman up. Pull another person up. Listen to them. Show compassion. Educate them. And empower them, please. Because together, all of us can change the world. Gandhi said, "You must be the change you want to see." Maddie says, "You must be the change you want to see. No excuses." And if you want to know more, it's in the book. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, Ms. Sharma. I never thought I could do that, but maybe I'll have to try it. Even in heels, that's even better. Thank you for giving us that empowering speech, and we're thankful that you're here from the UK, but your heart's in India still. Big round of applause for her again. Next, I have founder of Technologies PVT Ltd, Maya Jha. Miss Maya Jha? Mania Jha. Welcome. Would you like this one or this one's fine?
Hello everyone, thank you for having me here, and thank you ma'am for bringing back the excitement over here. Thank you for inspiring us and giving us that energy of, and we've seen a proud Punjabi, a proud Indian showing us the energy. So today I'll be talking about technology. We have someone mentioned about Industry 4.0. Yes, we all know about the era that gave us electricity, and then came the computers, and now we are entering the era Industry 4.0, where computers and automation will come together in a very different way. When I say Industry 4.0, it's about the powerful technological trends that are coming together and that have the potential to change the world, to change the way we live, to change how things are manufactured and produced, and many things. So what's behind this Industry 4.0? These are some of the technologies like 3D printing. We have robotics, drones, artificial intelligence, and many more. So I have a 3D printing background. I'm the founder of a startup, a 3D printing startup. So we are all set to democratize manufacturing, make it local. And in a very layman terms, I would try and explain 3D printing. 3D printing is is, you can say it's digital manufacturing. If you have a 3D design file of an object that you would like to create, it is very much possible to have that object, to hold that object in your hand. 3D printing is now changing the way technologies make, the way industries make things, and it's almost entering, almost many industries have already started adopting it, be it 3D printing organs. The big minds have already started exploring 3D printing organs, shoes, and many more things. When we talk about innovation, 3D printing forms the basis of innovation. It helps people shape their imagination. We as a company, we are working with a lot of high-tech industries, like someone mentioned Internet of Things, IoT. We are working with drone companies, robotics, and we help them accelerate their product development process so that they innovate faster, they make new products for us, and we all move together. The 21st century has brought us, it has brought a lot of innovations along with it, and we see a lot of new things coming our way every now and then. It's not possible for us to keep track of every technological advancement that's happening, but it is suggested, and it's my suggestion, that given the significant amount of impact that any technology has on our daily life, we should keep a track of at least the technologies that are going to leave a big impact on our lives and are going to become the next big wave. So thank you.
Thank you, Manya. I totally agree with you. There's so much innovation, so much technology. How do you keep up with it? But let's follow a couple of them and be good at it, right? Is that what it is? Yes. I think I'm good at a few of them as well now. I'll go to my next speaker. We have Mr. Nihal Mayur. He is Youth Representative to United Nations Department for Public Information from the USA. We're in the USA, Nihal.
I live in New York.
Wonderful. Thank you. Round of applause for Nihal.
Dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, dear friends and colleagues, good afternoon. I'm speechless. Before coming to this podium, I had such a great speakers, and I'm so glad that I got an opportunity to stand here and speak in front of such an intelligent speaker. So I graduated from the university campus outside my college, so I was always out. I don't have much knowledge about the technology because I was sent out all the time. But I got an opportunity to stand here and share the view of innovation. It is important to know that innovation does not happen only in a lab or a research center or a big incubation center. Innovation you can find in the smallest town which cannot even seen on a Google map. I would like to share a story of one common person from India. After a massive earthquake in 2000 in western part of India, Gujarat, this person's house was completely destroyed. And when he went inside to his house and he saw his fridge was broken down into pieces. And he said that I have a broken fridge and I'm a poor person and this is my poor person fridge. He was a potter, thought to do something just to get a cold water for himself. And he had a pot. A pot is a very common product which you get in every individual's house in India. In every Indian house, you find a pot. And he changed a shape and he made a fridge out of it. And today it is well known as a Mythicool fridge. And when we introduced that technology in the other part of the world, people say, are you kidding me? And a fridge and a refrigerator which is working without electricity can give you cold water. That is not possible, but that's innovation. So innovation does not mean that that it should come from a big classroom or from IIT or from IIMs. So I have one more short story which I like to share because I can't speak more on technology because I have my colleagues, they are briefing about the technology. So one more story from Nepal earthquake. After the massive earthquake of Nepal, there was continuously tremors in that region. So people were scared that now what next? Because people lived in that trauma that next moment again we can face the same earthquake. And one of the person said, why don't we build eco-friendly building which is earthquake resistant? Is it possible? This question was raised. And the answer came from the United Nations Department for Development Program, where in 2014, a person from India had introduced eco-friendly earthquake building resistant program in United Nations. And it is the buildings which are made of plastic bottles, which are plastic waste material. And that technology is introduced in Nepal now, and the buildings are made which is earthquake resistant up to 9.3 hectare. So that innovation which is used in Nepal was introduced by Indian in New York. So we are here to network, to share our ideas. It is not important that the technology which is there in Sweden cannot be replicated in any part of Africa. It can be easily, just we have to share an idea and the technology to the other people. And what we use this platform, I'm a voice of 400 million youth and children around the world who are make this world 50-50. So every year we have 400,000 people migrating for their better life. Just to sustain, just to survive, they move out from their home and they're called as refugees. Just for one time of food, for bread. To stop this migration, we don't need big invention, we don't need something big, we just need a small contribution. The technologies which we have available anywhere in the world, introduced to them, they will never leave their house. There won't be refugees in the world if you give them a basic nominal life, where we get a good food, shelter, clothing, and good education. I take up an opportunity at this economic forum, Women Economic Forum, and request the leaders, request every innovator in the room to think globally and think about the ideas which we can create a common platform. We can share the similar and replicate in other part of the world and reduce the migration and see that everyone lives with harmony and peace on this planet. I wrote a small quote after I was motivated yesterday in this room with such a beautiful ladies and audience. So I wrote one small quote. Women is a mother, women is a sister, women is a friend, women is a neighbor, women is a colleague, and women is a wife. Women presence in everyone's life. Let's every man stand in the room and say that I stand for equal women rights. Thank you.
Beautiful. Very, very, very nice. Thank you for sharing such insight for innovation and how it can be done in smaller ways as well. Actually, I would like to share a story too, but I don't think we have time for that. So next time. But thank you very much for being on this platform and opening up the doors and saying, let's make this world smaller by presenting big projects to cities so they don't have to bear and not being able to be part of the new technology. Thank you, Mayur. Next I have Rajya Lakshmi Kola. She's the director of Sunworks Energy from India. A big round of applause for Rajya Lakshmi.
Good afternoon, everyone.
You're just a little bit taller. There you go.
Now this is better. Is it better?
Can you hear? Okay. Fine.
Okay. So today's topic is actually very interesting and vast, so I couldn't decide where to start. No, it was good that I was speaking at the end so that I could take some from everyone and just add value to it. So there are two things I would want to split it in. One as innovation in energy, and other one is smart cities or smart infrastructure. Innovation in energy, a lot of them have pointed out earlier. I think this is better. A lot of them have pointed out earlier, there is not so much connectivity or facilities across the world. So we need a lot of innovation, and we are working towards it for getting energy through to everybody in the world. So we're looking at renewables, and there is a lot of need of storage as well for this to go across. So there are a lot of villages and rural places which do not have energy even to cook their own food. This is where there is a need for innovation. And coming to smart infrastructure. So what is a smart infrastructure? Smart infrastructure is an infrastructure that can measure, monitor, and analyze for us to react. So we have infrastructure like the roads or utilities with water, electricity. But why does this need to be smart? We have utilities sending us water every day. Everybody uses water. But we are looking at a resource which might go short sometime. So we need to understand how much we're utilizing. There is data. It is not very difficult to collect data. So it is all about measuring this, monitoring it on a regular basis, and analyzing it. And with this, we can react. Because you know how much water you require, and accordingly, you can plan for how much you need in the future. If there is a shortage, this is when you start planning. You cannot get water the very next day if you run out of it. So this is why we need smart infrastructure. It's not just water. In road, like someone had mentioned earlier about the traffic tickets. There are other ways. That's not the only thing it's going to do. So when you have an accident, you can reroute your traffic without causing any congestion anywhere. You can use the same data to get an ambulance in place before somebody can call a 911 because you have the data. It has to just be transmitted. It has to be communicated effectively. So this is where the need of smart infrastructure comes, where you can communicate this data and react at time. Just for this reaction, we need it. And for this, it is not just one infrastructure we're talking about. When we're talking about traffic, we cannot just have that. We have to integrate that with weather data as well at some point of time, and with from weather to energy. For example, when there is a lot of natural light, you do not need high tube lights. So there is technology now which can adjust the illumination based on what is the natural light available, based on the weather, how much cooling or heating is required in a room based on the temperature. So these is what a smart technology is. So we have to integrate all these technologies and communicate. There are some hindrances with this. Like, firstly, how do these people communicate? You need to have a common communication platform. And everybody knows how technology in a phone changes so fast. Like within a year, it's changed. And you're talking about investing in a technology, in an infrastructure. What if you invest like 20 crores and then tomorrow it is outdated? So we have to think about expansion as well. So when you're talking about smart infrastructure, it's also about this infrastructure lasting for a long time. One other thing about reacting is, what is the requirement? We should be able to analyze the requirement and expand accordingly. A lot of cities face the problem that they cannot grow anymore. There is congestion in a lot of forms. So these smart technologies should help us to react and avoid a congestion before it comes. So this is where it comes. So the technology is going to change very often, and we have to make sure we can react accordingly. Like whatever we are building now, we're putting an RFID. What if RFID becomes redundant tomorrow? It cannot happen because you build a road which is meant for 100 years. You are looking at a technology which is going to last probably a year. So this is one challenge, I think, for smart infrastructure, and there is a need of innovation here. With that, I think I'll close. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kaur. I totally believe in smart energy myself, and I try to put that in my house as much as I can. So thank you for sharing that insight. I have my last speaker for the afternoon. Her name is Zenia Leozido. She is a director of Isotech Ltd, all the way from Cyprus. A big round of applause for Cyprus in the house. Did I say it correctly?
Thank you very much. I am the last here to speak. I'm sure you all want to finish with the panel and have a discussion if there's time. And I have to admit that when I was given the title of this panel, Breakthrough Technologies, I thought that, I didn't think actually, because it's a Women Economic Forum and it's different. I am an engineer. I'm a civil and coastal engineer. I am working in a male-oriented, a male-dominated system. Wherever I go in conferences, in business meetings, I am usually the only woman there. I am dressed a bit like a man, but I have my high heels today, too. It's different. Women can make the difference. And today I feel free to speak not about breakthrough technologies, but technologies as a tool for a better life, because technology is there. Smart cities and smart urban development is a very big global market of about $400 billion per year. But it is there, and it is good to have it as a tool for a better life. As I told you, I'm an engineer, and when I was at the Technical University, one of our professors, the most strict one, the difficult topic of reinforced and pre-stressed concrete, we are having our last oral examination, and he asked me, I was studying very hard, and he asked me, what was the last poem you read? And I was like, poem? I was reading the Beton calendar, or, I mean, poem? And he said, you are an engineer. If you go out there without reading poetry, literature, you are dangerous. So this is what I want to say today. We need to use technology as a tool to make life better, to make ourselves better, and to gain togetherness. I have here my friends from Cyprus. This year we came, a big group of 7 people from our island. Cyprus is a small island in Eastern Mediterranean, and Mediterranean is a beautiful place of earth. We are neighbors with Italy, and we like dancing. Tonight we can do dancing. We like singing. We like eating, drinking. But we have the right to have a good life. And smart cities need smart people, smart citizens. And smart citizens need to be, to have the knowledge, to have culture, to know arts, to have access to what makes life good. And yes, I'm finishing here. Thank you very much. It was great to be again in Women Economic Forum, talking about a better life through technology. Thank you so much.
Zeni, I'll tell you that much. Cyprus doesn't sound like a small little island. It seems like a huge city because we have so much support from Cyprus coming into this city, right? Right, Dr. Herveen? A big round of applause for Zenia. Thank you for sharing that. With that due respect, we will start our ceremony for giving you guys our pure thankfulness to be here, and we're going to give you trophies for being part of our event this afternoon. We're going to be giving out the iconic Women Creating Better World for All, and also the iconic leaders that are our men in the house for being part of innovation and technology. So I will invite Dr. Herveen Arora to come up, and we'll do our first award. Our first award is for Claire Lyle.
I'd just like to invite my sister Emanuela Donetti and Xenia, who are last year's awardees, to join me in presenting the awards to this year's awardees, please.
Claire, if I can have you come up on stage. Claire Lau, Global Venture Talent Geek. Team come from videotape, both of them, Mr. Dalit Venkatraman and Savvy Dilip, to come up on the stage. Dr. Himani Shain. Himangi Shain. Next, I'll have Ms. Donati, co-founder of Urbano Creative from Italy. Big round of applause. Next, I'll have Ms. Kola come up to the stage from Sunworks Energy. Mr. Nihal Mayur, the Youth Representative of United Nations Department. Next, I'll have Mania Jha to come up on stage. Our social capitalist from the Mari Group, Mari Sharma, to come up on stage and receive her award.
Mari, thank you for turning things on their head. Mari and I share our birthday. Thank you, Mari, for being here.
Next, I will have Honorable Ms. Mutezo, Chief Operations Officer, SEA from Africa, to come up on stage and receive her award. Ladies, we'll do one group picture so everybody can go off and do their thing, because our next session will be starting any minute. Yes, so one group picture. We're going to move into our next session right away. So if you guys need a 5-minute break, please go ahead and please do come back. The next session is Innovating for Sustainability and Exclusiveness. Test. and gentlemen, we'll move into our next session, Innovating for Sustainability and Exclusiveness. I will say the names of the speakers, and if you're ready, you can come up and have a seat at the stage. First speaker we have is Bisman Teo, student at the University of Warwick, India. Camille R. Glover, Minister, Attorney, Advocate, Philanthropist from the USA. Wonderful. Bisman.
Yeah, Bisman. Yeah, sure.
Yes, please do. Yes, you're good. You are? Camille Glover. Wonderful. Thank you, Camille. Dr. Shirini, Head Group Marketing and Corporate Affairs from Zimbabwe. I'll invite you up to the stage now. Dr. Gikilir, founder and CEO of Dollaborate GmbH from Germany. Hello, welcome. Dr. Shirini, wonderful. And sorry, totally mispronouncing your name.
He's a good friend, Manu.
Dr.
Moritz.
Moritz, okay. Dollabor. Oh.
Do you want me to ask him?
It's okay, I've already said it once. It's fine, yeah. Miss Nasuna, CEO, Shared Action from Africa, Uganda. Evelyn Nusana. Hannah Nyamaki, Experienced Agriculture Extension from Ghana. Isabella Sangurad, she's an entrepreneur from the USA. Pallavi Srivastav. She's a founder of Impact Ventures from India. What is your name? What is your name? Pallavi, wonderful. Romana Bakshi, Head Responsible Business and Sustainability SFA from India. Sarah Khan, Stop Hunger Now Southern Africa from South Africa. Sutapa Sanyal, Director General of Police from India.
Lovely to have you on board. Ramona, I'll have you all the way.
Thank you, speakers, for being with us in this lovely afternoon on our day 2 at Women Economic Forum. This plenary is on innovating for sustainability and exclusiveness. So I just want to tell you that we have about 2.5 minutes to speak on stage. There is a lot of us, so we'll keep the stories very personal, that's touched your heart or something that you want people to hear about. So we'll keep it at 2 minutes. Somebody will ring the bell at 2 minutes, and then you have about 30 seconds after that. Does that sound fair? Wonderful. We have a 1-hour session, and we'll have questions and answers answered in the audience later on. Wonderful. So I will start with our youngest member in the group, I feel. Is that correct? Bisman, I'll welcome you to the stage. She's from the University of Warwick from the UK. A big round of applause for our young entrepreneurs.
everyone. It's an absolute honor to be here amidst all of you today. I just landed 3 hours ago from a 9-hour-long flight from the University of Warwick, but seeing all of you and the enthusiasm in the room sure has me back in the zone. So I'm pretty sure all of you have this question. Why should you listen to this tiny, over-enthusiastic 19-year-old? What would I possibly have to say on such a deep and widely talked about topic, sustainability? Well, I invented a building material when I was 15 years old called greenwood. Greenwood is a low-cost building material made up of rice waste, which can be used to provide affordable housing to the poor. I was also a keynote speaker and panelist for the launch of the flagship publication of UNICEF, the State of the World's Children 2015, and have been a youth judge for one of UNICEF's competitions. I also run a campaign of my own called Color the World Pink, which aims at promoting entrepreneurship and leadership among young girls with the aim to bridge the ambition gap. Thank you. I am also absolutely humbled to share with all of you that I recently made it to the Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia list. So I believe that the little experience I have has truly made me realize the value of sustainability and how it is intertwined in our lives. I think sustainability is a topic that has been talked about quite a lot over the last 1 or 2 years. Sustainability and sustainable living has suddenly become the new hot topic. I've always been an extremely inquisitive kid, the kind of kid you really don't want to be around because she'll ask you too many questions. So I took this straight to university and asked my fellow students a simple question. What does sustainability or sustainable living mean to them? It was extremely interesting to know the variety of answers I got. Some said it's an awakening of people for the want of a greener planet. Some said it's cooperation and interdependence of people and organizations, while a very interesting answer I got from one person was, it is the people realizing that we can no more fool around and we will be the end of us. We're demons of our own destruction, and sustainable living is that ray of hope which will save us. Now that answer was a lot darker than I anticipated, but it did make sense to me. We hear the words innovation and sustainability almost every day, but what does it mean exactly? Is it about people or culture, our environment, or jobs and money? Is it about cities or countries or the planet? Is it about you and I, or is it something for other people to worry about? We live on a planet with finite resources that are depleting by the minute. Sustainable living is the only way forward if we want to save the system from dismantling. I believe that innovation is the backbone of sustainable living. When I say innovation, I am not talking about the innovation involved in Apple Watches or hoverboards, but I am talking about innovation that makes a true difference to the masses and the planet. Things like edible spoons which reduce plastic waste, or seaweed light bulbs illuminating homes. We have a unique opportunity to innovate based on who we are and the way we see things around us. I will be talking more about innovation and its importance in today's world tomorrow evening at 7:15, so do come and give it a listen. I would like to end by saying sustainability is not a trait that we are born with. Sustainable living needs to be on our to-do list. Also here, I'd like to quote one of my favorite Chinese proverbs. When the winds of change blow, some people build walls, while others build windmills. The wind of change is innovation. So together, let's build a sustainable future. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Bisman. I hope this convention you're going to learn lots and lots from amazing ladies around you, being so young and so entrepreneurial. It's really nice to see. Thank you. A big round of applause for our young entrepreneur in the house. Now I'll have Ms. Glover come onto the stage and say a few words. She's Minister, Attorney, Advocate, and Philanthropist from the USA. You will let me know from where in the USA, right? Wonderful. A big round of applause. Would you like this or would you like this? Wonderful.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you greetings from the USA, and today I will speak on the transformative power of innovating for sustainability and inclusiveness by sharing 3 points. How do we end poverty, advance industrially and technologically as a nation and a world, while still trying to protect the environment? The first step is that we must invest. There is no capital like human capital, which focuses on using an individual's skills, knowledge, abilities, education, and experience for economic development and value for an individual, organizations, governments, and educational spaces. If we want access to the best technology, leadership, academic expansion, and sustained growth, we must invest in educating, training, and empowering every member of every society. The cure for AIDS, the next technological boom, the next great leader of our various nations may actually come not from the wealthiest community, but from the poorest. And in order for that person to reach their greatest potential, we have to commit as individuals, as organizations, as educators, and as government officials to give every individual access to the pipeline of greatness. Help people see that they have the power to overcome their circumstances, often even already possessing the raw materials. But simply investing in individuals, while great, is not sufficient, because this investment is more than merely just pouring money or time. This investment requires our engagement. After investing in human capital, we must engage one another. Everyone needs a mentor and a sponsor, or as I like to call it, a mentor sponsor. A mentor counsels, educates, and teaches and guides others. We can mentor others by volunteering in schools or after-school programs, creating or being involved in helping give real access to job trainings, opportunities, and the development of others, by going into developing communities and actually helping build or oversee infrastructure so that people can have greater access to expansion. However, we must also be sponsors of others, or as I call it, mentor sponsors. What does it profit a person if they receive the greatest education but can't get a job to help develop their community? Or if they have all the knowledge but no option for upward mobility? Sometimes we need to be the person that helps make sure the person gets a job. Sometimes we need to be the person that helps give them opportunities and access. Sometimes we need to be the person that will invest in their company or connect them to the people that can open doors for their greatness. And after doing this, finally, we must encourage those we invest in to return on the investment we've made in them by enlightening or inspiring others. No matter where you are in your life or career, you must always enlighten and inspire others. While climbing, you can also uplift others. While being invested in or poured into, you can also pour into others. Innovation and sustainable innovation often comes when we can witness another person's journey to greatness. However, inspiration for others comes when we bear witness of our own journey to those who are watching us. Sometimes we must be transparent about that journey. In closing, I leave you with the final stanza of Max Ehrmann's poem, Desiderata. In it, he states, "With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful and strive to be happy." And in final closing, I want to just say, continue to be sustainable innovators. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Glover. I believe mentorship is very important in every step of the way, so thank you for bringing that up. I have had lots of great mentors, even being in WEF. So thank you again from coming from so far away, miles and miles away, and it takes so long to get here, but you're here with us, so thank you. Next, I have Dr. Shirini. I was able to make friends with her on Friday night a little bit. Welcome onto the stage. She's Head Group Marketing and Corporate Affairs from Zimbabwe. Welcome. A big round of applause, ladies. Some energy would be beautiful right now. Let's hear it.
Good afternoon.
Wonderful.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Shirini, as introduced. I'm from a financial institution called CBZ Holdings, which is based in Zimbabwe. So my contribution to this topic of inclusion and sustainability will be mainly from a financial services perspective. What you have noticed over the years is that there's been a widening gap regarding gender inclusion, particularly of women and girl child. So you will find that women, because of cultural issues, do not have the capacity or the collateral to access funding to scale up their businesses and grow them to the next level, because obviously of things to do with inheritance laws, inheritance issues, a women's places in the kitchen, etc. So from a financial perspective, I think there are three key stakeholders that can actually reshape the future of women, and I've redefined economics today to womenomics, which is growing sustainable economies through gender inclusion of women. To that vein, I would like to actually add my voice to the issues to do with how governments can come in to support this drive for women economics, or rather womenomics as I would call it. You will find government needs to have a direct and deliberate stance towards redefining laws and policies, towards promoting financial inclusion for women and economic growth and sustainable development. From a financial side, we also need to play our part really in terms of funding women projects, creating micro and special tailored products for women, unlocking funding to the women's sector through working with governance to fund for renewable energy sources. Most of our women, particularly in my country, are in peri-urban and rural areas. So it says, even if they want to produce and process their produce, they do not have the capacity because they lack access to energy and access to internet, as well as infrastructure networks. So what we need to do as a partnership with government, with women, with the financial institutions, is to ensure that we actually capacitate women with off-grid renewable energy sources like solar, to allow them to redefine and upskill themselves by using what they already do, like the small-scale farming, producing the peanuts or processing for export, because that is the future of the economy. Tomorrow's economy really will be based on social entrepreneurship and innovation in terms of technological and digital innovation. So my take is that as women, we need to change our stance. We need to stop being the victims. We shouldn't be apologetic for who we are and the skills that we possess. We have what it takes to commercialize those skills and grow huge economies. I think when you look at the McKinsey stats, we're talking about $428 trillion in terms of capacity by just correcting the gender divide. So I believe through womenomics, women are the future. We can harness sustainable development for our economies and the globe at large. So I say let's carve our space. Let's take a bold step. Let's leap into the future. Let's commercialize our skills, because we are so multi-skilled. I think we're the only ones that are able to watch your favorite soap at the same time, taking care of the baby with a pot on the stove at the same time. So we've got the ability as women to multi-skill, and we do it flawlessly. So why not convert that ability into economic activity that will transform the future of the globe? So that is my parting shot to all of us ladies. Let us be bold. Let us carve our place. Let us take the vixen mentality, lose the victim mentality, and change this inability to reality and ability. Thank you so much.
Now, that was a bold statement for sure. Thank you for sharing that with us. Next, we have Dr. Moritz, all the way from Germany, who's going to be sharing his thoughts of innovation with us. Welcome, Doctor.
So first of all, I have to say I'm really thrilled to be the quota man on this panel. And I'm very happy that this is a conference where the men are the quota. So the topic of this panel is innovating for sustainability and inclusiveness. And there are three elements in this topic, right? I think one is a task, one is a reason, and one is actually the method or the process or the solution for this task. So what is the task? The task is to innovate. We know the word innovate, and we have it heard, especially in the panel before. It comes from technology. It comes from the business world. But I think we don't only need to innovate in a technological sense, in a business sense, but I think we need to innovate in a people sense. We need social innovation. And why is that? So what's the reason? The reason is that we need sustainability. As has been said before, sustainability is a topic that is around for like at least since the 70s. Actually since the 19th century, if you look at the name for it. But we are discussing this since the 70s on a global level. And the problem with this discussion, from my perspective, very often is sustainability means to sustain something, to sustain a livelihood. But this is a very restrictive reason. This is a very restrictive goal to achieve, just to sustain something. Why don't we look at sustainability from a more positive, more optimistic viewpoint and say, why don't we design a better future? Not only sustain what is there, but make it even better. And I think this is where innovation and sustainability actually come together. Okay, so we have the task to innovate. We have the reason why do we need innovation, sustainability, a livable, great future for us, for our children, for everyone. And now comes what I believe is actually the method or the process or the solution to this whole endeavor, which is inclusiveness. I personally think, and that's also what I'm working on with my company, Dolaborate, that only by working together in very, very different teams, diverse teams, people from all different disciplines, from all different parts of the world, from all different genders, from all different areas, we should come together and work together and create the innovation for sustainability for the future. As I said, I have a company in Germany called Dolaborate GmbH, which is, I call it a collaboration experience design company. So I try to design collaboration experiences for these people from different areas, and I try to help them create new solutions. And I think there are 4 elements to this collaboration experience that we should try to kind of bring out of ourselves. The first one is we should try to be curious, because if we want to work inclusively, if we want to work with people from different backgrounds, from different perspectives, we have to first start by asking, who are you? What are you doing? What are your beliefs? What are your values? And we have to try to understand that. So be curious. Second thing is not only being curious and asking questions, but then also being compassionate and actually developing empathy, developing compassion for the people we are working with. The third thing is, and that's something that I'm very happy about, that I have this chance to work like this, is being creative. So I think the challenge of innovating for sustainability needs us to be very creative and create lots of new ideas and new solutions. And in order to do this, we should also be constructive and talk together, but also build together and make things together. And I'm very happy to invite you all to come tomorrow at 8:30 to my next talk, where we can maybe discuss this in more detail. Thank you so much.
Definitely be curious, because sometimes we're curious and we never ask a question, so both are needed. Thank you, Doctor. Next we have Evelyn Nasuna, CEO Shared Action from Africa, Uganda. Do we have her? No, we don't. Okay. Pallavi Srivastav, founder of Destiretta Impact Ventures from India. Welcome, Pallavi. I'm feeling the energy is very low right now. Can we just get some claps for Pallavi? So she'll share some venture experiences and maybe even some money with us, right?
All right, I'll try my best. Good afternoon, everyone, and it's an absolute honor to be here. And as I think about our theme today, which is innovating for sustainability and inclusiveness, I think we kind of, as a panel and also, everyone sitting here, agree or, just the topic is based on this underlying premise that innovations indeed have the potential to create a sustainable and an inclusive world. And being in this space for a very long time, I could not agree more. But I would like to start with the fact that despite the huge strides that we have made over the last decade or so in reducing extreme poverty, we still live in a world where billions of people do not have access to basic facilities. And just to give some statistics, as of today, 1.3 billion people live without electricity. 2.5 billion people do not have access to adequate sanitation. 1.3 billion people lack access to effective and affordable health care, and almost 1 billion people globally are estimated to be undernourished. We are in the 21st century, and we are talking billions here. Billions of people in South
law is there in the country, and they're working in a very transparent way. For us at CAF, once we align these businesses or these various stakeholders when we talk about inclusivity, is to make sure that they're working in lines with the 3 pillars of sustainability, which is the society, which is the economy, and which is the environment. When we need to innovate at CAF India, we have recently launched the SDG Drivers Forum to address the 17 goals of the Sustainable Development Agenda. We work in an integrated fashion or an integrated framework approach where we look at public and private joint initiatives and campaigns. We look at collaboration, the power of partnerships. We look at inclusivity, the role the various stakeholders really need to play. We look at how we can really change the status quo condition or really shift the dynamic baseline in regards to the social initiatives we conceptualize at CAF India. We do all this to ensure that we enhance India's position in regards to the Social Progress Index, and also to ensure that we leave no one behind when we are talking about development. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bakshi. Next, I have Ms. Sarah Khan, CEO of Stop Hunger Now Southern Africa. She's coming from South Africa. Big round of applause for her.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sarah, and I'm from South Africa, and I'm very pleased to be here. I think I want to do a little exercise. But you need a partner. And it's a very simple one because we all battle with it. You know, there's a beautiful tray of food that comes out. How do you sustainably say no? That's the question. So you need a partner. If you can quickly be with a partner, it's not going to take long. Just somebody next to you. Just somebody next to you.
Some hands going, holding hands? Or
No. Just look at one another.
Look at one another.
You got to do something, okay? Have you got your partners? So this is how you sustainably lose weight, okay? You sustainably lose weight. Do as I tell you. Look at your partner. Move your head to the right. Move your head to the left. Move your head to the right. Move your head to the left. If you don't get it, you're never going to lose weight. It's this. You just say no. This way. Okay? Yeah. So to tell you a little bit about what we're doing, inclusivity and being an organization that's in the NGO sector, it's very important to us, especially being sustainable. And it's very difficult when you're dealing with children. How do you make a child that's under the age of 6 sustainable? You can't really do it. So the way we do it is by focusing on the early childhood development facilities that we work with. Currently in South Africa, we are serving 58,000 beneficiaries with a healthy, nutritious meal approximately 5 times a week. It's still not enough, guys, because we've got 3.1 million children under the age of 6 facing food poverty in South Africa. So how do we make this a sustainable business? It's only by empowering other women. 9 out of 10 times, there are women who come from indigenous communities, who have never been educated, but who have heart. If it weren't for these women, these children would not be alive. So there's a lot to be said and to be done with them. And what we do is we empower them. We say to them, in return for the meals that we're giving you, we want you to take the savings you've achieved from this and utilize it towards 5 core goals. The infrastructure, because 9 out of 10 times they're in a shack. So develop your infrastructure, put in wash stands, put in toilets, make it a more solid structure. Number 2, education. Make sure you have your teachers educated and yourself. Get business education, because eventually you become an SMME. Thirdly, you've got to make sure you take care of the fire hazard. We're working in informal settlements. We don't have electricity in most of them. No matter what anybody tells you, this is the sector that is most vulnerable. They're vulnerable to fires, they're vulnerable to flooding. So how do they make themselves safe? That's one of the ways, by a fire hydrant. The other is to make sure that the kids come there to learn. And lastly, to make sure that there's good sanitation, because that's also important. So by utilizing this, we've got the ECD Connect program that currently has over 300 ECD facilities. And last year we exited 20 of them. They're no longer reliant on charity, they're independent, and they can now go on. This year, within the next 2 months, we release another 20. And for me, that is progress. This is the sustainability that we have brought into it. And if you have any questions, I will take them later. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Sometimes when we do small projects and we want that continuous growth, sometimes we just have a hard time just maintaining that. So thank you for sharing those numbers. Sometimes you get discouraged that they're small numbers, but I strongly believe if you can keep it and sustain it, small numbers are powerful as well. So thank you, Sarah. Next I have Ms. Sanyal. She's the Director of General of Police from India. Welcome, Ms. Sanyal.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Sustainability, innovation, inclusiveness, and policing. Probably they don't go together. But if you scratch a little bit beneath the surface, you find that there are linkages. And the linkages are the vulnerable communities in our society and the need for good governance, which I feel is not a rocket science. In a society which is high on patriarchy, where we have the subcultures of silence and victim blaming, where the law enforcement officers are often blamed for their lack of apathy to these vulnerable communities, where the largely invisible crimes of domestic violence, child abuse, and human trafficking is occurring. With a small dedicated team, I'm trying to put into place policing practices which are a paradigm shift from what we have been doing, because the police has been trained to do coercive policing. What is needed in today's society for sustainability and inclusiveness is a kind of proactive community policing, where you try to involve people, where you try to bring on board the various stakeholders, and then try to give relief to people who are looking up to you. And this is exactly what we've been trying to do. We have, for the first time, put into practice the concept of the 3 Ps. We've brought on board civil society members, and we have developed programs which increase the accessibility of women to the criminal justice system. We have leveraged ICT, and we have also put a very strong human component in place. I'm an Indian police service officer working in UP, also known as Uttar Pradesh, which is the size of Brazil, which has over 200 million people, half of whom are women. Add to it the child population, which has a very, very adverse police-citizen ratio, which means there is one police personnel on an average of 1,235 citizens, which has a heavily gender disbalanced force because there are just 6 to 7% women in the force in this state. So here we are trying to put into place practices, good practices, which change the mindset of the police personnel. We are trying to build up their capacity. We are trying to tell them, look, we may be governed by the 1861 Act, but things have changed. Now people are aware of their rights. They are asking for it. And it's high time that a change came in the pattern of policing which we are giving to our people. Governance needs to change. Governance also needs to get in elements of creativity. And therefore we have designed a bunch of programs which talks about giving access to women to the criminal justice system, because still today it is very, very difficult for a woman to go to a police station and talk about her problems. We are trying to change the mindset of the police, yes, and we are trying to involve the society in all our programs. We work with school children, both boys and girls. We tell them about the laws of the land, how the women can empower themselves by coming to know about the laws of the land, and how the boys and what the men have to be careful about, because post-2013, there has been a sea change in the laws of the land. So these are some of the things which we are trying to do, and thank you so much, WEF, for giving me this platform. All my thoughts and all my feelings are for all of you here in the room. I'm reminded of something which Melinda Gates has often been talking about, that we need to stand behind and beside every woman who is trying to rise. Let that be our goal, and we should see a much, much better world than it is today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that inspiring speech, Ms. Sanyal. I never really ever share this, but Doctor has told me to share a little story as well. I actually worked in the police force as well in Canada for a number of years. My background is political science and criminology. So implementing programs, working in a jail has been fantastic for the Canadian police. Implementing and letting them learn and get education in the jail system has been very, very empowering for men that are in jail, you know. So we let them educate and we let them, yes, they've done a crime, but we still can empower them and let them change their life. So a police department that I worked in was called the correctional department. So you're naming it where you're correcting their behavior all the time. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you, Harbeen. I usually keep that a secret because I work in the film business now. So that is a little part of my story. Thank you so much. I'm sorry? Yes, we're working on that as well at some point. So thank you so much to all of our speakers. You guys have been amazing. We are going to be handing out our acknowledgement and our trophies now as well for the iconic women creating better world for all, and also our one leader that's sitting in our group of all these females of being here, and we're going to be presenting you with an award as well. So I'll invite Dr. Harbeen Arora to come up on stage and we'll start the show. Big round of applause for everybody. We'll get the drum rolls a little bit. Not enough energy in this house. Drum rolls. Till the music comes. Doctor, would you like to come up? Dr. Harbeen? Yes, no problem. I'm done my speech. So I will invite Bisman Dew to come up on stage and receive her award for Iconic Woman Creating Better World for All. Glover from the USA, Minister, Attorney, Advocate, Philanthropist. Dr. Shirini. She's the Head Group Marketing and Corporate Affairs from Zimbabwe. There we go. Dr. Moritz from Germany. He's the founder and CEO of Collaborate. Next we have Pallavi Srivastav. I will invite Ms. Ramona Bakshi to come up on stage and receive her award. Stop Hunger Now, Southern India. Ms. Divyaba Sanyal, Director General of Police from India. A big round of applause. I'll invite everybody to come up on the stage and just do a quick group photo. Session will start at 3:30 p.m. Innovating for education, skills, and human empowerment. This is going to be a large group. You want to be here, so make sure if there's friends and ladies and gentlemen outside, bring them all in. Let's fill up the room. 3:30, we'll see you.